a loving home, albeit an alcoholic one. Was provided for, given everything, and looked after very well by my hardworking parents. But my clearest memories today are of my father shouting at and belittling me when in a rage, being scared of and bullied by my sister, and my mother abandoning me and being much more interested in her friends. I've always felt I had a secure upbringing, but did these past experiences give birth to my recurrent theme of I'm not good enough through my life? I've always thought everyone around me was better, smarter, faster, everything than I, and that I could never compete, so why bother? I've always wondered where on earth I picked up that belief from, such a debilitating belief. Well, first of all, Kendra, thank you so much for sharing that. And it's really interesting that, you know, when you say I had a loving home and was provided for and given everything and looked after well by hardworking parents, I'm hearing that your basic needs were met. You know, your basic, like, survival needs were met. And then when I read father shouting at and belittling me when in a rage, being scared of and bullied by my sister, and my mother abandoning me, being more interested in her friends, and there's bullying, there's abandonment, there's belittling, there's out of control emotions. It sounds scary. All of that threatens a child's safety and security in the world, and on a primal level. And when a child is receiving experiences like that, it can't help but mean that this is happening because I'm not good enough in some way. If I was good enough in some way, if I was better, if I was more perfect, Dad wouldn't be shouting at me and he wouldn't be belittling me. If I was better, if I could be improved in some way, I wouldn't be bullied by my sister. If I was better, if I could be good enough, Mum wouldn't abandon me. So while these thought processes might not cognitively go on for the child, and it depends on your age that this happened, and ages, plural, because it sounds like this didn't happen at just one point in time. The child, on an unconscious level, believes that it's because of me. There's something wrong with me that they would treat me like this. And when you're treated like that, you feel utterly unsafe, because while Mum's abandoning me, I don't have her fullest attention. I don't have her unconditional love. She's not there keeping me safe. I'm on my own. When Dad's yelling at me, I don't feel safe. I'm on my own. Like, all of these experiences, I don't feel safe. I'm on my own. And yet my caregiver's role is to love me, pay me attention, be there for me, show up for me, hold me safe. When I have their attention, I feel safe because they're looking out for me. When they're absolutely there for me and showing me love and kindness and words of affirmation, I know that they're there for me and they'll keep me safe. So on a primal level, a young child needs to know that I will be safe. And I know I'm safe when you're saying nice things to me, when you're showing up for me, when you're there for me, when you're taking care of me. If you're not doing those things, I fundamentally feel unsafe. And on a deeply primal level, I feel like I might die, depending on the age that this was going on. So if you're walking around as an adult now with a belief that I'm not good enough, and it's been a recurrent theme, yeah, that would be why. And we come to this awareness without any blame on mum, dad, or sister. There's no blame here. There's generational programming going on here. So, you know, it'd be really interesting to explore your dad's childhood, your mum's childhood, why your sister behaved like that because of her parenting. And it will be generational upon generational. So you go right back down your family timeline and you'll see that there's good reason why the adults, the parenting, why people are behaving the way that they are. It's what they were shown. It's what they know. We now, here, 2020, live in a time in life, we're so freaking lucky and gifted because we have this knowledge, we have this understanding. We live in a first world country where we have, my God, we're so blessed. We're so privileged that we can have conversations like this. We are so privileged we can be having conversations like this. We're so privileged we have the choice whether or not to spend time on our personal growth and to read that self-development book and do that meditation. We're not in survival mode. A lot of people, a lot of women in the world still are. They don't have this privilege, but we have this privilege, and and we must take the baton and run with it. We must honor that privilege and do the work. I believe this so strongly. And you can do the work to rewire the mindset and reprogram the conditioning that said, I'm not good enough. You can do that work, and I promise you, on a spiritual, energetic level, as you do that, you're actually creating healing, not just for yourself. This is why it's not selfish, it's not egocentric, it's not, what's another word that I hear people say a lot? I feel like I'm being self-indulgent. It's not self-indulgent to do this work. You are doing it for you, but you're doing it for all the generations. Like I think they say it's 7 generations before us and 7 generations to come. Energetically, you're clearing the line in your family history. You're doing it for your kids. You're doing it for your kids' kids and their kids' kids. You're doing it ahead of your line and behind your line. I promise you. And I can see it in my own life. The healing I've done, and I'm not going to go into it now because, we're already an hour in on the call and I've got more questions I want to answer. But I can see with my dad, I never, ever, ever thought I would have the relationship with my father that I have now. It's a genuine miracle, the relationship that I have with my dad now. And it's not because I told him anything or tried to teach him anything. There's no way he was interested in what I had to say. The way I am showing up in the world, and just energetically in a way that's really hard to describe. If we end up, any of you here on this call, if we end up working together, I promise you I will share this story in detail because it's really beautiful. But what has happened with my dad and how our relationship has healed and how he has healed and come to a place in his life that I genuinely never thought was possible, it has everything to do with the work I've done on myself. And not that I've done the work and then gone and preached to him and said, this is how it is, Dad, like I'm all evangelical about personal growth. We don't talk about my work. I don't talk about my healing. It's energetics, and it's shifting things for him. And even though my mum has died, I have a genuine belief it's shifting for her. Because we're all just energy. It's very, very, very exciting. And I know it's shifting it for my son. And I know that, anyway, it's powerful work. So we're not just doing it for ourselves. So Kendra, all that to say, you asked if you think that had something to do with your recurrent theme of I'm not good enough. And with love, I think it has. And I also know that can be overcome. And I know there's beautiful healing available to you and all of your family members. There's no blame here.